Hello, and welcome to Castlevania Symphony of Thursday Night. That's right, I'm going to start playing this game and put it out on Thursdays, because why not? Let's go ahead and jump right into this thing here. I'm going to just create my normal file using EPSXE on this game here. And I think I'll just put in my normal old name. This was the very first game to actually coin the term Metroidvania, because this was a Castlevania game done in the style of Super Metroid. So we're going to journey back to 1792 in the Transylvanian countryside of Romania. Look at those next-gen graphics from 1999. Or 2000, I don't know exactly the year it came out. That's a hell of a castle. And one thing you can do with the loading screens is mess around with the D-pad so that you can send the now loading thing going. Alright, so here we are, Richter Belmont. One of the last true Belmonts, actually, to ever go up against Dracula. And this starting battle is really going to be all about, just kind of getting Dracula dead. This is just kind of flashing back to the events of Castlevania Rondo of Blood, which was also known as Dracula X, which is actually the direct prequel. Well, we'll call this the direct sequel to the game. So here you see me kind of playing around up in this very ubiquitous Castlevania thing. There's always this chamber in front of Dracula's room that you can go to and just stock up on items. Usually it's a matter of hearts and such in the earlier games, but, in this game they tried to make it a little bit more special. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm just gathering up some hearts, because I want this Dracula battle to go as simple as possible. And the truth of the matter is, the Dracula battle actually makes a difference as to how you start the game. When you do a good job, and here you can see all these cool little things we're getting. Richter's got some moves, as you can see. These aren't items we can actually use at the moment, but when we come back as Alucard, we can. As I was saying, there is a mechanic to this fight where the better you do, which I think is directly correlated to the maximum amount of HP, how much life you lose in this battle will determine how much life you start with as Alucard, so you don't want to do a terrible job. If you, God, why am I doing that jump so bad? Anyways, if you do this battle poorly, so badly to the point that Maria has to run out, then you'll get even worse scores, so you don't want to fudge up this battle. I'm going to do a strategy that always works for me, and that is, I'm going to get the Holy Water. Holy Water, I think, being the best thing for this particular fight. So let's listen to this wonderful acting.
Hi, monster. You don't belong in this world.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Immortal
Perhaps
words.
The same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you. Alright, so the shit's hit the fan already. Dracula's pissed. going to be doing my item crash here because for the holy water, the rain just does the most amount of damage to Dracula in the shortest time. And just a good couple of these item crashes here, and you can have him basically down to the ground. And yeah, just 3 of the item crashes. Bam. Easy peasy. It was Richter Belmont, the legendary vampire hunter who succeeded in finally ending the menace of Count Dracula, Lord of the Vampires, who had been brought back from the grave by the Dark Priest Shaft. However, one night 4 years later, under the glare of a full moon, Richter mysteriously vanished. With no idea of where to begin her search, Maria Renard set out to look for him. It was then that fate intervened. Castlevania, the Castle of Dracula, which is rumored to appear once every century, suddenly materialized from out of the mist, as if to show her the way. Meanwhile, powerful forces were struggling for the soul of a man named Alucard, the very same Alucard who had teamed up with Trevor Belmont to battle his immortal father, Count Vlad Tepes Dracula. Alucard, in order to purge the world of his own cursed bloodline, had submerged his vampiric powers and entered into what was supposed to be an eternal slumber. But now he is awake and aware of the evil once again at work in his homeland. The time has once again come for the forces of good and evil to engage in their ancient battle. Dracula's castle beckons for you, and no man can say who shall emerge victorious. Look at that tableau! That it is, Castlevania, the castle and the game. So now begins our story. Yay, let's stick with the loading screen. Whee! My man bursts onto the scene. 75 isn't the most HP you can start with. Honestly, the way I did it was kind of a cheesy way, and it's a little bit punishing. You can get more than that if you just rely completely on using your special moves, but I really can't be bothered. So let's just begin this game, slashing through every motherfucker we see. Nothing can stand up to us. Nothing at all. That's because we're starting with some pretty damn good equipment. Alucard's sword, Alucard's shield, dragon helm, Alucard mail, Twilight cloak, and the necklace of Jay. All very good items, and all which we are going to unfortunately not be able to get. Now there is actually a dank that you can do, that you can retain your items. There's lots of ways to retain your items in this. My favorite way is to have like a really low defense and unequip everything, and get hit by one of them wolves, which is supposed to launch you all the way through Death's Room, and if we can pull that off, that would be great. Let me go ahead and unequip. Let me unequip all these things. Oi, I'm forgetting my controls. Yep. And let's see how well we can withstand a hit this way. Yep, the bats are kind of knocking us around here. What I'm interested in finding out is if we can get a wolf to give us a knock. Go ahead. Nope. Well, that sucked. And me dead. Let us go out this evening for pleasure. The night is still young. Okay, so first death of the game. Obviously not too fun. And with that, I believe we have lost our save file. I sure hope we don't have to do that over again. That would really suck. We do. Alright, well, I'm gonna save y'all the heartache and just kind of skip that shit. So let me just remake my file. and I'll catch you guys again when I get back to the same point. Okay, and I'm back. Yeah, I didn't want you guys to have to sit through that whole thing again. So, yeah, we're not going to try and do any danky tricks here. This is just about playing the honest game through. There are some danks that can be done, but the problem is it involves just so much unbelievably, ridiculously terrible farming that it's not going to be worth it. So I find it's worth it just to play this game through. It's a really great game. I mean, listen to the music, some of the best music that you'll find in a video game, and just the atmosphere, the way that the place is set up, it's just great. Everybody back in the day when they played this game, you know, just had a blast with it. So, one strategy you can use to make your life a little easier is there's a limitless supply of enemies here. You can just go around battling fishmen and gaining levels, so that's a pretty good tactic to use. Doesn't take much, just slash them as they come out of the water. And you can gain a good 2 or 3 or 4 levels off of this easy, in practically no time at all. I think I'll do that, just because I want to get a little bit of a leg up on the pile. There we go. One more. Just one more. I don't want to make this, you know, Symphony of the Grind. You can do a little bit of a downward slash when you're coming down. The weapons all have different mechanics as well, so you can just really do it up. And I think one thing that set this game apart more than any other is just the fact that it had so much stuff. Aside from the regular, you know, quest items that you can get to open stuff up, you could also get some really good other weapons, and not to mention just some really cheesy, funny weapons too. So I mean, the game just pumped a lot into the enemy design, into the level design. It's an amazing game, and I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it as I play it here. So if I go quiet at times, don't mind me. I'm just enjoying the game. Now, we should have learned our lesson and gone for a save point before anything else, but I don't think there's a save point to be had quite this early. I'm kind of confusing this, I suppose, with one of my other favorites, which was Area of Sorrow, which that's my personal favorite of all the Castlevania games. I mean, this one obviously holds a place in my heart, but you know, Area of Sorrow, I just think got it the most right. I loved the way that everything came together. So let's just slice our way through this ragtag little pile of enemies here, and get on to our next dialogue-heavy encounter. Yep, that particular block in every in every Castlevania game has something in it. So let's see what's going on here.
Alucard, what is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Still befriending mortals. I'll not ask you to return to our side, but I demand you cease your attack.
I will not.
You shall regret those words. We will meet again.
What?
My thoughts exactly. He stole our swag. That sucks. We got nothing but our dukes now, and this shabby little freaking cloak. Yeah, they start you off super powerful, letting you know what you could be, and then they take it all away. So let's see if I can nail this jump. Yes! This is a nice little thing to get just a touch early there. I have to head back on up. So we have got to build ourselves back up from scratch here. We have got to get our stuff back, and most importantly, get our dad. Now remember in Rondo of Blood, in Castlevania X, or Dracula X rather, that the Grim Reaper had actually a top hat, and I thought that was pretty neat. That's a great design for the Grim Reaper, having a top hat. I mean, hells yeah, I'd want Death doing that. So this is one of those points early in the game where you can decide if you want to use a two-handed sword or a one-handed sword. It's actually, this one's worse than the one we have, so I don't know why we would possibly want to get it. Let's go ahead and grab the Cube of Zoe. and that makes, it says it makes items appear. Basically, it's what activates the little candles to actually spit out stuff for you, so that would be why you would want to get the Cube of Zoe. Pretty hard to do the game without that. And now we save. Boom. And on with the level. Now you'll notice that the original enemies that were here are no longer spawned. Those two skeletons are only for the very first time that you go through this particular screen, so after that they're gone, and for the rest of the game the enemies all spawn like normal. So this is a funny little mechanic that they introduced in this game, the loading tunnel. Basically, this is a screen where when you go through, it's got enough time for the CD to load the rest of the level and kind of make it seem all seamless. You can see there's the CD right at the top there, so it was a nice way for the game to be made just to kind of be seamless, really. So, you know, you didn't feel like you were loading screens and such, which I thought that was a nice touch. You know, I didn't realize it at the very time I was playing it, because, you know, I didn't have a head for game design at the time. But, yeah, it is a very creative way to get rid of the loading screens. So, it's really important at this point of the game that we get all the items that we can. Just try to do our very best to get ourselves geared up, because things are not going to be very easy. However, if you know what you're doing, you can just jump over these spikes. It's not hard. And then we get a leather shield, which is kind of useless, really. I don't really use the shields all that much, but then again, why not? Supposedly it raises your defense, although I don't know if it's a permanent defense raised. Now, what I like to do to try and cheat my way up to getting the Basilard is I try to drop a skeleton on top of that switch there, and when he comes back up, then I'm able to jump up that thing. So let me try it again. This guy is messing up my groove a little bit there. The idea is when he steps off of it, then, oh, you son of a gun. You are messing up my slightly danky thing. No, it's not what I wanted. Damn it. Alright, let's let him get up again. You drop. No, get back there. No, get back over to the other side. Stop it. God. I wanted to pick up the Basilard, because it's a pretty good weapon for this part of the game. It's weaker, but it's faster, and that's what makes the difference, it being a faster weapon. So okay, to get this guy to actually come over, we're gonna have to come all the friggin' way over here. So, alright, come on, get up, you damn blood skeleton. Let him walk over here, step on the thing, and just keep this guy dropping. And now I should be able to get up there with no problem. No! What a pain in the ass. Alright, I'm gonna give it one more try. One more try, and if that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna forget it. Gotta be a little bit more on point with my aim. There we go. That's what I was going for. We got the Basilard, which I'm going to equip right away because of the fact that it's fast. It's got a little bit less attack, but you can go pretty hard with the stabbing there. You can just manic stab it up. See? Bam. Done just like that. I like it. And it's a cool little stab, 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 stab. I like the stab, stab, stab. But we are going to have to switch back to the short sword because unfortunately the Basilard cannot do these downward attacks. And you want to open up this little groove here so you can get the life max up. And get used to those. We're going to be seeing quite a few of those in this game. And another one over here. And in this screen, heart max up. which is also glorious. Alright, here we get our first item, the dagger, which is very nice. I like it. You could also do a Richter mode in this game. I think you have to complete the game first, but when you do that, then you will get a you get to put in the name Richter as your profile name, and that will actually start you off as Richter Belmont, and he plays entirely differently. It's still the same game, but he plays differently. Minor puzzle thing to do here. And you can come up here. I like to get all the torches. I'm queer like that. Another thing to bear in mind is your MP. Once you get 50 MP, then you can begin to do a real OP spell, Soul Steal, which yeah, that practically breaks the game. Let's get our cloth cape, slightly shabby cloth cape. Let's take a moment to actually look at the item descriptions. We got common short sword, leather shield, which has low defense, hide cuirass, which is a tanned leather cuirass, and well-made but shabby-looking cloak. We've also got all these other things. Rusty red sword, Castlevania pot roast, that's fun. Roast turkey, neutron bomb is useful, and resistance to lightning. I never honestly used the potions in this game. Never really found them all that terribly useful. But, you know, that is something you can do. You have the opportunity to, you know, just kind of artificially lessen your weaknesses to certain things. I really wish that these axe guys would drop a shield at one point. I don't think there's something down there, but I'm still gonna check. You know what? Let me just equip the short sword on Circle, so, you know, that way I can whip it out when I need it to break something open. I'll be getting better weapons soon, but... or not that soon, but soon enough. I'll be getting better weapons soon enough, but I honestly never use the shields, and I don't know if they factor into your overall defense. I'm not about to... well, you know what? I guess I am about to test that out. So let's do a little test, shall we? We're gonna get hit by one of these little dealy bobs, and that's 3. And let's equip the shield, and that's 2. So you know what? Equipping the shield does actually make a difference to your armor defense. So I'm gonna save one more time just to kind of top up my health. And so, okay, yeah, mechanics confirmed. Have a shield equipped, that will improve your just natural defense when you're getting hit. And you need all the help you can get sometimes. This game is unforgiving. And the axe is a superior weapon. I was trying to get to that other ledge. The axe is a superior thrown weapon, and I tend to use that more often than anything else. I'm taking a diversion into this hallway here to show. Magically sealed blue door, you can't go that way. So you obviously need to find an item to open those kind of doors there. So let's work our way back up. And it's time for the first boss fight. Ooh, hello guys. Let me see if I can wreck them. Now the thing about these two is that you get them down in, you get them down enough in health, they will start to go a little bit nuts. Alright, so that was Slogra, and this is Gaibon. Ooh, you want to get him before he gets too damn mad. Come on. Woo! Duck under that shit. Yeah, and there goes Gaibon. And we get a life max up for our troubles. Simple enough, not a hard boss. Stab, 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 stab. And there is a map in this game too, and that's one of the things that actually I think Super Metroid did before any of the others was to give you an actual map. And this game kind of copied that. That's how Castlevania started. You know, they took cues from Metroid and it turned into Metroidvania. And you can see on the map where our blinky spot is indicating where we are. We missed a part of that room. Now, an important thing to note about this game is that its ending is based upon completion. And completion is based upon how much of the actual map you have managed to personally get to. So take the opportunity when you can to fill out as much of the physical map screen as possible. If you do not do that, then what's going to happen is you will get a worse ending. And I want the best ending, so I want to try and get to the maximum amount of map coverage as possible. Alright, so let's take a look. Our MP is still at 41. We'd like it to get up to 50. Now let's see if we can cast a specific spell here. We should be able to cast the Blood Spill spell, which what that does is anytime you stab an enemy which bleeds, you gain a little bit of health if the blood splashes upon you. And I'm trying to do it. I know it's a circle. It's not going. I'm wasting hearts. Alright, in here. Get the sunglasses. Equip those. Cool looking sunglasses. Yes, they are. They are, actually, they pretty well match the glasses that Helsing Alucard wore, don't they? I think that's pretty fun. Trying to do some spells here. Doesn't look like the DualShock controller is going to do it for me with the D-pad. And yeah, this game is full of these fun little mechanics that open up shortcuts too. So you know, it's definitely got some cool elements to it. So I can see here that I missed a place. I missed a spot over there, but that's okay. That's a place I'm going to be going back to again later. I'm going to try to get these episodes to be about 30 minutes long, give or take. Just simply because I think hour-long episodes of stuff, while I don't mind watching them, it can be a little bit much for somebody just randomly clicking around and be like, big long video, what the hell? So I think 30 minutes is nice little bite-sized chunks. And I'm not counting the few minutes that it took me to redo the Dracula fight here. That's obviously going to be cut out. But, you know, I've got to just find a decent enough little stopping point that I consider I've gotten enough done. So let's at least get on to the next area. I love that sound. Work our way up. This is why I like the Basilard so much. You can just stab fuck someone to death, stagger them, knock them out of their poise, as it were. We didn't even call it poise at this spot in the history. Dark Souls is what kind of got us to use terms like poise and iframes and such. So you know, applying this to the old days is it's a fun little tactic. We can easily make sense of things. Like at this time, we didn't have this game coming out immediately coined the phrase Metroidvania. We didn't have any clue what a Metroidvania was back then because they didn't exist. So this is the game that started that whole thing off. And you know, as a result, anytime you think of a game where there's I hate the ashes. Anytime you think of a game where there's a map and you can open up shortcuts to get and not just open up shortcuts, but also get items that will allow you to progress, that these items are alone will allow you to progress, then that is a Metroidvania-style game. Which Super Metroid was like that, too. Of course, you know, that's why it was Metroidvania. So let's see. Moving on now into the Marble Gallery. Ooh, I do like the holy water, so I'm going to use that. Yes. Holy water is OTT. Oh yeah. Bam. Just throw a little bit of that and these guys are wasted. You can't really item crash, unfortunately, with the holy water or with any of the items as Alucard, but it's still fun. Can't really run either. Just trying to see if I could build up a run. No, I take that back. I do not care for the knife. Holy water is where it's at. Cool little Ouija table. Let's save here. And we're gonna just go deep enough to kind of open up the way back to that original room where we had the save point. And I think we will call that an episode. So just work our way down through the marble gallery. All that lovely plate glass window in the background. It's just such atmosphere in this game. You got the music, you got the visual styles in the background. It's just lovely. I just love this game. And we're getting good enough to one-shot skeletons. But how do we do against these mannequins? Pretty well, pretty well. This is a game where you don't necessarily want to skip everything by. Do we go this way yet? No, I want to go over here. Yes. This is where the item is. Spirit Orb. And what does the Spirit Orb allow us to do? Shows enemy damage. Shows you how much damage you're doing when you hit an enemy. Yeah, 11 damage. Now, one of the things you gotta be careful of in games like this, a lot of people fall into this trap that they thinking high damage weapon automatically equals better. You know, each swing gives you more damage. But that's only part of the story. You also need to think about DPS. And one of the decisions you need to make, one of the things you need to calculate, is that if you're gaining a benefit from an item, but you get a weapon that has more power, does it actually save you swings? Can you manage to get the enemy dead in one less swing? If you can't, then perhaps it's not worth equipping that weapon. Because if an enemy has an HP of 20, and you have a weapon that has a damage of 10, then you have to hit him twice to kill him, right? Because that's, 10 damage each time the enemy goes, not counting any, personal enemy stats. But, let's say you have a weapon with a damage of 15. How many times do you have to hit him? Still 2. Even if that's 5 more damage, you are still having to hit the enemy 2 times to kill him. So, yeah, just think about that when making a decision on whether you want to switch your weapons or not. Because if you can't actually save yourself a swing, then it might not be worth it. Now, of course, weapons with higher damage would be really great on boss battles where you have so many swings that it actually makes a difference. But for an enemy that dies in 2 or 3 or 4 hits, again, unless it saves you a significant amount of swings or gets you out of damage quicker, it is not worth it. Now this is a funny little enemy right here. He hurts you, yeah, but he actually is not very aggressive. You can kind of walk past him. However, if you rough him up a bit, he gets mad, and he'll actually start to attack you and do, yep, see? He'll start to get really, really angry. Oh, and that crashed the game. Well, so there you see, if you're gonna attack that guy, don't do it by halves. So, alright, you know what? It's not really all that necessary to go down through the gallery. I think I'll go ahead and call this an episode. We got enough done that I feel like that serves as a good, just kind of a segment there. It's 30-ish minutes. So I'm going to try and get this one out every Thursday night, hence the title, Castlevania Symphony of Thursday Night. And I hope we all have fun together with it. Thank you very much for watching. I am Solanist Arcone, and this has been Castlevania Symphony of Thursday Night. I almost said Dank Out 3. God, I am so used to doing that.